What I really love is the multiplicity and diversity of the neighborhoods, and I equally like, I would say, the Italian neighborhood, the Greek neighborhood, the Jewish neighborhood, or Chinatown, and I can go on.
Can you tell us a little bit about your research?
Yes. My research is in the domain of basic cell biology and basic cell physiology. These are things that excite me. So I would say when I was a young warthog, I started with the regulation of cellular volume and water content of the cells, and also the pH, these fundamental parameters. And these led me to investigating cell stress. That would actually lead me to investigating the cell skeleton. And it turns out that the cell skeleton is a very important device in the cell's life, and it also is a critical regulator of disease processes, and particularly chronic scarring or organ fibrosis, which is now my major focus.
And what excites you about organ injury and repair research here at Unity Health Toronto?
Well, many things. First, let me tell you a couple of general facts about this huge disease entity. So chronic organ injury, and within that, organ scarring or fibrosis, is the major cause of death all around the world, responsible approximately 45% of death. So it's worse than cancer in many a way. Just considering my narrower area, the kidney, 12% of people suffer from chronic kidney disease, which is basically a form of kidney fibrosis. So that, puts things in perspective. Now, here in this particular institution, there is an amazing cohort of researchers, and I don't name anyone, not to hurt anybody whom I might inadvertently leave out, but this is a fantastic cohort of researchers on this chronic injury area, or in this area. And I would say that there are 80 people associated with our pillar, both clinicians and basic scientists or clinician scientists, both, and approximately 40 scientists who are heavily investigating this very important field.
And why is organ injury and repair research so important?
Well, basically, those statistics already show that. It's a major problem, and especially it's a major problem with an aging population, because essentially this is the tear and wear. And if we will be able to understand the mechanisms whereby fibrosis occurs, and this regards both the kidney, the heart, the lung, the liver, essentially a common process at the biological level, then we will be able to stop it or treat it or reverse it.
And 10 years from now, what are some milestones you'd like to see for this pillar area?
Right. So I just tell you that unfortunately I am not a fortune teller, not having a diploma from Delphi in Greece, but what I can tell you what we are aiming at. And what we are aiming at is actually threefold. The first major kind of milestone would be understanding. So we are heavily working on understanding the key and common mechanisms in organ scarring in order to be able to target those processes. The second thing is that currently there is no real therapy other than organ replacement for any of these diseases, like, for example, kidney or lung transplantation or dialysis. And these are extremely expensive, and they are also very, very hard on the patient. So we would like to find much better therapies than that, and we would like to do that possibly in the domain of drugs. And now there is a huge drug development against fibrosis. And of course, the third, and if you wish, the second important area is diagnosis, because currently we diagnose these conditions very late when they are in an advanced form. And there is a huge effort conducted in finding early diagnostic approaches.